Macklin Celebrini in drafts, and then we still have a whole summer of stuff to shake out here in terms of where he ranks. But last year, when we were talking about Connor Bedard, there was a fear of if you didn't grab him by the third round, somewhere in the third round, you probably weren't going to get him. Where do we target Celebrini this year? See, for me, I think fourth, fifth round, because not to the same extent as Bedard, but he's going to get a ton of opportunities. He's going to probably have better, younger talent playing around him this year than what Bedard had in Chicago last year. So the potential's there. I'd probably say somewhere in that fourth, fifth round. If you don't grab Celebrini by then, he's probably not going to be there probably by round 6 or 7, the latest.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up because this question was going through my head when you had mentioned that they weren't in the mock draft roster right now. And I was like, oh, Bedard or Celebrini. Look, I don't follow the minors as much as you guys do. So I know the names like when they talk about McDavid at the top, when you hear the top names, and Bedard was one of those names. And he was he went first in a lot of mock drafts, especially those keeper leagues. So I don't know. I haven't heard too much about Celebrini as much as you guys have. So I would assume that he gets drafted a little lower than a lot of these other players. I still think in keeper leagues, maybe Connor Bedard gets drafted, over him.
I think in a keeper league, for sure, Celebrini is going to go in those first probably 2 rounds. But in a redraft league is probably more where I'm thinking he's in. Try and grab him somewhere in that 4 to 5 round, because 6 and 7, you're probably playing a little bit with fire there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I know Macklin Celebrini is going to be dynamic. I don't know if he's as dynamic today as Connor Bedard was. And there's nothing like, I understand that Bedard played in Chicago and they were surrounded by nothing, but Connor Bedard to me didn't need anybody else. Like, he can create certain things by himself. I don't know if Macklin Celebrini is going to be able to do that at his age. I'm also a little bit worried about the college hockey. So when you play college hockey, you play less games. It's like it was a star-studded group that he was with. And I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It's just the upside of taking a rookie that early is the opportunity cost of not taking an established player. And if I can get 60 to 65 points out of a, second line player at that point in the draft, like, I'm betting on the upside of Celebrini here. And the problem with the San Jose Sharks, yes, they're maybe better, but is this team going to possess the puck? Like, you have to have the puck in order to do something. And I mean, this team is really bad. So you're right. Everything that works in his favor right now is going to be the volume, which is exactly how you play NHL DFS, right? It's all about volume. How much, if guys see a lot of ice time, if they play a lot of meaningful minutes, sometimes you're not worried about the immediate production. You're saying, hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. He's going to get his assists and everything because he's going to be out there a lot. But I don't know if they're just going to run him out there crazy and just let him kind of have fun. Like, there's still structure to a hockey game. There's still things that the San Jose Sharks want to put in place. There's still veterans that are there as well. And like, you signed them to be there and play. They're not coming in just to, I don't know, do nothing. Like, you didn't sign Tyler Toffoli to just sit, right? You're going to give him the opportunities that you did, especially with the money that you gave him. So I don't know if I want to go that early. If he starts to fall, maybe. But in the 4 or 5 range, like, I may just say, hey, I'll take a pass here. And if it bites me, so be it. But there are other players in that range that I think I would like more than Celebrini and the possible upside that he could bring.
I think with, right now, Daily Faceoff has Celebrini projected to be with Tyler Toffoli and Fabian Zetterlund. So maybe not a ton of goals in his first year, but I think if those lines hold true, a lot of assists. And then on the second line, you got Mikael Granlund between Will Smith and William Eklund. And if I know it would be a really young line, but I mean, you put Celebrini between Eklund and Will Smith, that could keep make defensemen have their hands full. At least when they're going. It'll be interesting to see if they put those guys together on the power play. But yeah, I mean, 4 or 5, maybe a little early. 6, 7 maybe is the better spot. But it all depends on your league settings and all that stuff as usual. So talk plenty more fantasy hockey and mock draft stuff when we have mock drafts to talk about.